Red Friday morning. Good morning. There we go. Red Friday morning caffeine. Dave Golden with you. I'm on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel over there. We have a live chat if you want to be over there and talk to us. We have a live chat on the Dave Golden profile here on Facebook. Good morning. Hopefully my mic will hold out and we'll kind of go. Caffeine is the topic that we open with. That's where you wear a red shirt, red hat, red something on Fridays to show your support for the men and women of the United States military, both here in the United States and around the world, doing an excellent job taking care of our allies as well as ourselves and our families around the world. And here in the United States, to agree that more and more and more and more with things going on here in the United States, our military may end up getting involved if they're not already involved. So the next time you see a member of the military, go up and thank them for their job. And if you have questions, ask them. They may not be able to answer all of your questions, but ask any question that you have. Now we're going to move on to politics and whatever comes out of my mouth this morning. Randy Rhodes was not feeling well, so he wasn't going to join us this morning. I hope Randy gets better and is ready to join us on Monday mornings, morning caffeine. Anybody else, if you have ever thought about being on a broadcast, podcast, show, whatever you want to call it. I don't really want to care what you call it. I call it a broadcast. If you want to be on a broadcast and you never have done it before, all you got to do is message me and tell me that you want to be on whichever one it is, either Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning caffeine or Tuesday, Thursday, Boogie with the Bull Uncensored. The Uncensoreds are 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday evening. I forgot to mention that. And I welcome you to come in. It's an open discussion where we, again, talk about politics and whatever comes out of our mouths. So if you want to work on it and try it, then I suggest you come on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning. Monday, Wednesday. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Come on and try that. Then if you can, join us at 7 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday night. And if you like it, there's 5 broadcasts. You're welcome to be on all of them. We hopefully will pass you around to some other broadcasts that I'm on and other broadcasters that might see you and go, wow, I want to work with that person. And if you enjoy doing it, hopefully we'll get you up in that realm of social media. And if you decide you want to do it on your own, hey, we'll help you get set up and do it on your own. We'll help you get live streaming service. You have to pay for it, of course, but we'll help you get live streaming service. We will help you in any way that we can get going. Good morning, Craig Peterson. Dr. Craig Peterson is with us this morning on the Boogie with a Bull live chat on my profile over here on Facebook. So again, if you watch any one of these and you think that you might want to do it and you're not 100% sure you want to do it, well, get a hold of me and we'll do a sample recording with just you and I. And if you decide you want to do it, we will do it. We'll get you set up and working and your mic sounding pretty microphone this morning. I'm hoping if I don't touch it this morning, it will do exactly what it is supposed to do. It's either a loose USB plug or a short in the new cord or perhaps something wrong with the mic at this point. I really don't know. But anyway, in the news, I did read before we came on that a judge, I believe it was a federal court judge this time, has decided that she wants Elon Musk's address and she wants his Dodge personnel's addresses because they apparently have been doxxed, but I guess that judge believes that it's okay. Doxing anybody on the internet, as far or social media or anywhere, as far as I'm concerned, is really not okay. You wouldn't want yourself doxed. You wouldn't want your family doxed. You just, I mean, come on, people, grow the fuck up. That's about all I can say. And that's really how I have to say it. Just grow up, people. You know, it's okay to say that you don't like what's going on. You don't like who's doing something. But, going much further to releasing information that you wouldn't want released yourself kind of, should be how you judge information that you're going to release about somebody else. On the Epstein lists, with the FBI having delivered them to the Attorney General Pam Bondi, I think you can just kind of keep watching and hope that you see it. I think at this point, there are so many lists going around that so many members of Congress, the House and the Senate, or even higher, might be listed on that are going to cause embarrassment for the federal government, if not change majorities of the House or the Senate, and or even shut down the House or the Senate because of things that people have chosen to do. Again, maybe it's time to let everything collapse and start new. Craig says that he just popped in to say a real quick hi. I have to get back to work before severe weather comes through here in Georgia tomorrow. Hey, everybody be safe, okay? If you are out today, like Craig hinted, if you're out today and it's safe for you to go around and pick up everything that you might need for the weekend, at least go out and pick up what you can. Make sure you have your car full of gas and ready to rock and roll. If you have to leave your home, go somewhere else within the state, or possibly move on to the next state temporarily as things pass. Stay tuned to your local AM/FM radio stations or news outlets, whatever you do, however you get your news. Watch the weather on the internet if that's how you want to do it. But just stay in touch with what is going on and how it will affect you. Craig also says Bill Gates and Bill Clinton are on it, of course. Yes, they are. Now, I'm not worried about Bill Gates. I'm not really worried about Bill Clinton. I think that it to the House and the Senate, and that the House and Senate may not want the list made public because it will show bad people. And it's bad people on both sides. I don't want to hear anymore that it's just Republicans or it's just Democrats or it's just this or it's just that. It's everybody under that dome. Okay? Everybody under the dome in that building may or may not be involved. So, I don't know how we go through and find that. Well, I mean, if we have a list, we could always go through and talk to those who are on the list and see whether or not, whatever. As I've said before, everybody in the United States of America gets their day to go to court and defend themselves. Okay? And if they're innocent, then hopefully they can prove themselves innocent. If they're not innocent and they're guilty, then, they have to accept what happens. And speaking of the roll on over to what's happening at USAID, they evidently, the executive secretary of USAID, the temporary under, of course, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the executive secretary evidently gave out the order to shred and burn everything. And listening to a whole bunch of different podcasts and watching a whole bunch of videos yesterday, I guess from time to time, it is actually okay to shred and burn everything. Like in the case if we're closing an embassy in another country and we can't get everything out in time, then I guess it's okay to shred and burn everything. I don't know if I believe that. If we're closing an embassy in another country, then we need to start moving things and people out of there before all hell breaks loose and the paperwork and everything comes back to the United States of America, and the State Department can go through everything and decide what the State Department needs to keep and what the State Department needs to get rid of. And by that, I mean that if you were doing something inappropriate through USAID, they need to keep that paperwork so they can nail you to the wall. And if you were doing everything accordingly, then you need to keep that paperwork so that you can keep your job. This whole thing has kind of gotten out of control with everybody and Elon Musk. Everybody seems to think, or everybody's seem to think, that he's taking away all of the money from the government to give you all of the services that you need. The way I see it, no. He is not going into Social Security and saying, hey, take away Dave Globin's Social Security because it's all fraud and this and that and the other thing. I'm using my name as an example. He is saying, obviously, someone who is 150 years old to 330 years old and still appears to be cashing a Social Security check needs to be investigated, maybe the wrong looked at. They need a wellness check. We need to figure out, hey, if you really are 150 years old or 330 years old even, and you qualify, and you're still getting the checks and cashing the checks, and you're still living and whatever, then hey, great. At 330 years old, you might be eligible for more money or more services from the federal government or better services than some of the services that you have. Most likely the services that anyone cashing checks from someone who's 150 to 330 years old is going to get is a nice trip to Gitmo and then an opportunity to stand in front of a judge for the judge what you're doing, what's wrong, why you shouldn't be doing it, whether or not you shouldn't be doing it, and stopping it. I mean, it's really that simple. It really is that simple. In USAID, like I just said a few moments ago, if they're shredding and burning everything, my belief then is that they're just guilty of sin and they don't want any proof. Kind of like the January 6th committee with what's her face and Adam Schiff and everybody else. You don't destroy evidence if it backs up what you're doing. If you think you're right, because you need some kind of record to show what you were doing and whether or not you thought it was right. And, and that's just it. Plus, all those records are property of the United States government, not personal property. Just because Nancy Pelosi didn't get in trouble when she was Speaker of the House and she tore up the president's State of the Union address, hey, it wasn't her personal copy to tear up. It goes into the Speaker's archives and it stays somewhere. Either the National Archives or maybe the Smithsonian. I don't really know where, but it stays somewhere on file in the Speaker's archives, and it's there if it's ever needed again. And that's just the way it goes, it's just time to cut the BS, really. Cut the BS, start working together, if we can, Or if we can't, just cut the stupidity. Chuck Schumer yesterday, all over YouTube videos and other videos, doesn't support the current budget that the Republicans offered the Democrats to avoid a government shutdown. But funny thing is, it's the same effing budget that Chuck Schumer rammed down Republican throats and then had President Biden sign it into law 12 months ago. Exactly the same thing. It just seems that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is hell-bent on having a government shutdown that he can blame on President Trump, and then hoping that he can get a 1-month extension from Senate Republicans to try to probably work out the same thing, agree to it 100%, so that it looks like the Democrats fixed the budget. Come on, people. Just get together and do what you need to do for the citizens of the United States of America. Okay? Put a border around the country. Help and stay out of the way of ICE and whoever else, law enforcement from your state, helping to remove illegals that are bad people and should never have been here, get them out of the country, and then help, with people that have a right to be here or can go talk to a judge and convince a judge that they have a right to stay here and they're going to do what they need to do to become a citizen of the United States of America. I grew up thinking most people come here legally because they want to experience the American dream. My great-grandfather did. Brought his, I believe, 11 sons and 1 daughter, and my great-grandmother, and, they did it. They all went to school. They all got jobs. Some of them got married, had families, who again went to school, got jobs, got married, had children. That's why I'm here. And, tried to be as productive Americans as we could, not just hop, skip, jumped across the border, walked up from Mexico's southern border, trashed Mexico while they were here, and just decided they were going to come into the United States because they had a right to. No, we need to go back, hopefully under President Trump, to what it's supposed to be. Doesn't matter to me how you get to North Mexico, but you go through the United States Embassy, you apply for whatever it is you want that allows legal entrance, and you're told where and when to go and come into the country, a legal checkpoint, not just walking across the border illegally, getting handed a new cell phone, a new iPad, a bunch of debit cards, a bunch of this card, a bunch of that card, a nice room in a hotel, none of which you have to pay for, and then you just sit there and wait for more orders. No. Isn't how it goes. Going to take a quick look at something. Okay, there we go. Everything's fine. But, it is just time that we all start working together, or just accept that, President Trump is going to get us so far, and then how much further we go is all on us. Robin Brunson is watching. Good morning, Robin. It's a pleasure to have you watching. And it's more of a little rant this morning because Randy Rhoads, like I said, was not feeling well and wanted another day to let his voice rest. And hopefully he will be back with me on Monday. So just a little bit of a rant on a few things that I know. Still waiting for the all the lists to be made. It's Friday. We're going into a weekend. What you'll see on Facebook most likely is all the posts saying, where is the list? Where is this? Where is that? People, I guess, are still complaining about taxes on tips. I believe President Trump already said that in the last address that he gave that tips are no longer taxable. You don't really want to get me started on that tips is no longer taxable thing, because the honest thing, I think, is I was sitting down talking to a group of people who's had a period of time fighting to get their tips tax-free. The truth is, none of you paid taxes on your cash tips forever. Okay? None of you. Not any of you. And there were ways that you could have done something stupid that the IRS probably would have accepted. If you kept track of all your tips, cash tips, and when it came time to file your taxes, looked at the dollar amount that you got. And for example, let's just say it was $10,000. And you wrote on your tax form under miscellaneous taxable income $2,000, and you paid the taxes on it. Wrong, but I was always under the belief that the IRS would go, well, at least they tried to do something, so let's just go. We got something out of them. And if Paul Rudolph, who was watching, did the same, got something off of him. And if Craig is still watching him, he did it, and we got the same thing out of him. We're happy. Dave Goldman, we don't know what he would have done because he was a general manager and an owner of businesses. So, either way, he might not have had to pay any taxes on his tips. Well, that's probably true. But, when it comes to eliminating taxes, if you're not paying the taxes, yeah, you're standing up and saying nobody should be paying taxes on that is a great thing. But if you're not paying it, and the only reason that you're not paying it is that you don't want to claim it because you don't want to be in a higher tax bracket, well, I don't know what to tell you. And the real thing that is killing me right now is trolling through Facebook and seeing pictures of signs that say, if you're not going to leave a 25% food while you're here. That got me thinking that if that restaurant was local, I'd find a whole bunch of my friends and I would go in and order a bottle of water and sit down. And when they try to kick me out, I'm not leaving you a 25% tip because I'm not ordering food. I ordered water, or I ordered soda, or I drank beer. And when your profits go down, then you'll understand how stupid that is. Get over this on both sides of the equation. Restaurant owners, you have no right to tell me how much money I need to tip when I go to your restaurant, other than suggesting maybe 4, 5, 6 people at a table becomes a little hard on one person. Yeah, okay. Suggest a minimum of 18%. I don't really accept that. When you get to a party and it's like 10 or 12 people, you got to start pushing tables together to accommodate them, or try to get them moved into a party room and all of that stuff. Yeah, but that's not a tip. That's a service charge. You're just saying that we can serve a group of 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 people if you're willing to pay us a service charge of 18%. I might very well be willing to do that. But the difference between a service charge is you tell people in advance what you're going to charge them for your service. A tip, you give me the bill and it's $1 million, and I look at the bill and I go, yeah, well, okay, it was $1 million for us to be here, and I'm only going to leave a $200,000 tip because that's what I feel like leaving. And you can ask me why. Well, the service wasn't quite perfect. The person was rude to us all the time, or whatever. Because on the other side of the equation, I've gone into places and sat down and had a fantastic meal with a fantastic crew of people supporting everybody at the table, coming in over and asking us all the time, okay, taking food back that wasn't made right, getting it made right, or whatever, and said, okay, we're going to bill for $1 million. I'm going to leave a $500,000 tip. I'm going to leave $1 million tip. It's my decision based on the service that you give me. It's not my decision based on what you tell me it has to be. Because I want to ask you, how great is that 25% you got to leave if you order food sign working? Is it bringing people into your restaurant? Are they leaving 25%? Are they ordering less and leaving 25% so that the 25% is less? And if you, the management or the owner of the restaurant, are telling me I need to do this, my speaking to you is going to be, why don't you pay people 25% more when food's ordered? I'm not responsible for what you pay your employees, how dismal or how great it is. I am not responsible for it. I'm only responsible for making sure that the meal that I want at the place I want to go is what I want. And if I like it, you'll get tipped with me showing you that I liked it. And if I didn't tip, or you'll get tipped with showing you what I think your service was worth. And if you come up to me politely and ask me why you only got a 3-cent tip, I may say, well, you came over and you snapped at everybody at the table about this, and you snapped at everybody at the table about that. You came over and tried to get into the conversations that were going on at the table, which is not your business at all. Your job is to take care of the people who came in and ordered food to the best of your ability. If you want a good tip, if you don't want a good tip, then hey, you got what you get what you ask for. And then to the other people, let's stop using self-checkouts when every one of you is probably using self-checkouts wherever you go and wherever they're available. Just accept that they're coming. Don't go to those places where they come all self-check. Why? Because if you don't like them, don't go there. But then I'm going to say, you don't want to be your own cashier. But you go to Walmart.com and you put in you type in your grocery order. You total it out. You wait for it to spit out when it's going to be ready. And then you go and pick it up, or you wait for it to be brought to you. Okay? Honestly. I mean, it's a stupid discussion that we're having. I don't want to go to Walmart because they have self-checkouts, and they have more self-checkouts than they have human cashiers. Well, the other day we went to a Walmart. They had two areas of self-checkouts closed off. They had cashiers at every register getting people through as fast as they could, and everybody was happy. We waited in line and went through a self-checkout. Why? Because I prefer to do it that way. And if anybody says to me in a Walmart, you need to put your stuff in a bag, I look at them and I go, well, you know what? I got dementia. I don't know what a bag is. And I got Parkinson's, and I can't let your cashiers put 19,000 items in a bag that can only hold two. And then I pick it up and it breaks. So I use a price gun and I mark every item. I stick my card in there. I don't really carry cash, so I stick my card in there. I let it total it out, and then I put it back in the cart. And when I get to the human receipt checker at the door, I explain, well, it's easier for me to just ring it up, put it in back in the cart, and come up to you and hand you the receipt and let you do your job. Because if I just give you the receipt and you don't look at anything and you can't see anything because it's all in a bag, you don't know if I stole anything anyway. And don't come back and tell me, oh, there's cameras in there so you can't get away with it. Bull crap. Okay? Bull crap. I worked in security long enough to know that there are ways that you can steal. There are ways you can steal things in a self-checkout line. You show up with 6 of one item, and you take one of them, and you ring up 4 of them, and you put all 6 of them in a bag. Okay? Or other ways that everybody knows. Okay, the whole idea of that camera person there mainly is the whole idea of that human standing there, is so that if something happens and you need assistance with your terminal that you're checking out with, or the price gun that you're trying to use on on your purchases, they can do it. And most of them are pretty intelligent. They can look at the screen of the self-checkout and figure out what it is. I mean, I was pretty impressed the other day. We were at one. It just said something like didn't ring properly. Opened up this compartment and said, yeah, it didn't ring properly because there was no receipt paper. So, I mean, she knew what to do. She got a roll of paper, and in 30 seconds, it printed out a receipt, and we left. And then the lady at the door was an older lady sitting down who said, yeah, you're okay. So, I didn't worry. We just went out. We just kept walking. If you're going to call me over and tell me that you need to check the receipt against the items in my cart, then I'm going to make sure you check every item. Okay? I'm going to make sure you check every single item and you do your job. I'm not a greeter at Walmart right now because they changed the way the job is. You don't spend all your time saying, welcome to Walmart. You don't spend all your time saying, thank you for shopping Walmart. Take your stuff and effing leave like Walter does. You have other responsibilities around the store, and I can't stay, or I can't sit long enough, or I just can't reach high enough, so it's easier to just not have that job. But, if you don't like the job, then you shouldn't have it. Or prove to somebody at Walmart that you're capable of doing something else. If you got hired to sit at a chair and check out the receipts of people leaving, do it and be the best one in the store, as my grandfather used to say. Be the best one in the store doing it. And then when there is time for promotion, the odds are your boss is going to come to you with their boss and 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 say, hey, we like how you work. Let's put you in the management training program. Let's make you a manager of this. Then we'll move you up to a manager of this, this, and this. And if that's what you want, there's nothing wrong with that. The biggest problem these days is most people come in at the bottom and they want to be the CEO. Why? Because they hear the CEO of Starbucks is making $96 million. I really don't care that the CEO of Starbucks is making $96 million because none of those $96 million were $1 or more of my dollars. Why? Because I don't like them. But if he's doing his sales promotions and his goals, and he's paying the people that work for him the money that they want and deserve, and everybody's happy, hey, he earned his $96 million. He obviously hasn't earned his $96 million as far as most people that go there are, because most people go in there and say, I'd just like a medium cup of black coffee. And then you hear back, well, we have 957,000 coffees. Which one do you want? And then we have a medium cup, we have a medium venti cup, we have a medium douchebag cup, we have a medium this cup, a medium that cup, a medium that cup, a medium this cup. My father, when he had the Boston Coffee Exchange up in Boston, Massachusetts, used to say to us, if you don't understand what the customer is asking you for, politely say, I don't understand what you're asking me for. And in order to make you happy, could you please tell me what it is so I understand it, happy, and you will come back? And 8 out of 10 times, people would do it. And then my dad could see him walking in 200 yards on the opposite side of the station, walking toward the booth. He'd have whatever they wanted in a bag, and when they got up there, he'd say $2.50, because that's what it was. And that person kept coming back forever because they thought it was great. When the lines were long, when they got up to the register, if they saw Dad, that he was going to get them in and out. So same kind of thing. Dad didn't make $96 million, but if he could have, he would have been happy. And the bulk of the $96 million probably would have helped him open more stores, and if anything, pay people better. And I don't remember what minimum wage was in 1989, but I remember starting at I think it was $8.50 when I started. I think I got a raise to $8.75 for doing something stupid or learning something stupid and making sure I was doing it. And then I think that's where I stayed forever. And I really wasn't worried about what I got paid, because it was a family business and I just liked working there. And I had other jobs. I owned cabs when I first started there, and then I owned cabs and limousines, and then just had more limousines, and went back to owning limousines. But so I wasn't really worried about the exact, I didn't have to have $1 million paycheck. The job you do, if you make the people happy, shows that you like being there, and that you're not just there to get a paycheck. And I've always said, if you're just there to get a paycheck, you really got to be fair to yourself and get another job. And I know it's hard to get jobs these days. It is hard to get on SSDI like me. You can work 80 hours a month and make so much money on top of, it's hard to get jobs too, especially if you're one of us. Because you go into a place and say, well, I'm on SSDI, and, I have this issue, and I have this issue, and I have this issue, and it may keep me from doing some things around here, but I'll do my best to do them. Whoever you're sitting there with doesn't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it, because they just want to know that when you're on the schedule, you're going to show up and you're going to work, and then you're going to go home in the middle of the night and ask you to come in the morning, that you will be there and you will do your job, and then you will go home. It has to be a two-way street. It really does have to be a two-way street. Good morning, Danny Campbell. Danny Campbell has watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcasts in the 6-year history of Boogie with the Bull than most people, because William Grant and Danny Campbell run a close neck and neck. One is usually a couple of broadcasts more than the other, and they always catch up. And it's really me just saying, that they've watched more. They have watched more in the sense that they've watched more. Danny Campbell was one of the first people to start watching. William Grant started watching, I think, 3-4 years ago, and and I appreciate it. Robin Brunson watches. Robin Brunson will suggest Fat Cup Coffee Company here on Facebook if you're looking for a good cup of coffee. Talk to Robin. Robin will help you suggest. Robin is like a lifetime customer there. They think Robin is great, and she really is. She might, even if you're nice, I can't promise this, but she might send you a sample of their coffee. And I hope that she's getting compensated by Fat Cup for bringing new customers over, because that is something that but if you go over and you talk to Robin, or you go to Fat Cup Coffee's Facebook page or fatcupcoffeecompany.com, and you take a look around over there. If on the order form there's anywhere to say where you heard about it, say you heard about it from Boogie with the Bull, and then just leave it at that. Because a long time ago, it was months ago, Robin had sent me a sample, and I went, yeah, this is really good. This is as good, if not better, than the coffee that my dad was using at the time. It was a dark Italian roast, I think, one of their house blends. And I was going to talk to them about a sponsorship announcement. Not an advertising, sponsorship announcement. Sponsorship announcements on Boogie with the Bull work this way. If you have a product or a service, I want to know about it, and then I want to be able to, on Boogie with the Bull broadcast, morning caffeines, or the 7 p.m. Boogie with the Bull Uncensored, I want to be able to go and say, hey, this is from whoever, and this is what they do, and we're going to give it away to the person who answers whatever the stupid question of the day is. And that gets people hopefully going into your business and trying stuff and becoming customers, or getting you more customers, depending on whatever kind of business it is that you have. And that just works. I'm not right now interested really in getting an advertiser's money. And it's not even because advertisers may think that at some point they have a right to say, this is what you're going to do on the program, because we're paying for it. And if they're not paying for it, then you might not be able to do it. Anyway, I don't really care. I started this because I wanted to do it. I know how I want to do it. I'm glad that people watch it. I'm glad that people share it. But there's only one bill involved in being able to do it, and that's paying the Restream bill every month. Otherwise, we can't link anything that we want to link to Restream and make it a big and bodacious broadcast. Right now, we are live on Facebook on my profile, and we are live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Both have live chats. Matter of fact, even though you may watch it on Facebook every day when we're on, the 5 times a week that we're on, go over to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and watch it over there. I'm not worried about pennies from YouTube, because we will probably never get 1,000 people, and we will probably never get 1,000 people that watch 4,000 hours every month. Just like on Facebook, we will probably never get 50,000 people to watch 180,000 hours and do that every month, just because we don't have control of the 50,000 people that could watch every day. And we probably anyway. But anyway, if there is anything else that people would like to talk about, maybe what your weekend plans are. I confused and thought that Donna had a craft show tomorrow, but she doesn't. It's next week, and that means the Boogie with a Bullet Saturday morning broadcast that I thought about doing probably won't happen because I don't even know if we will be home during the day. It is our daughter's in-law's birthday today. Birthday to daughter-in-law. That's all I'm going to say. Happy birthday to daughter-in-law. And then when I see her in the house here today, I will say a more polite happy birthday. I remember birthdays. I'm 63 years old. I've had a whole lot of them. But anyway, let's see. I don't see anything else in the live chats that we want to bring up. I didn't bring much else with us today. I knew it would most likely be a rantish type broadcast because Randy Rhodes wasn't here throwing news topics at me, as I appreciate him doing when he is here. And I couldn't get a hold of Chuck Cook to see if he wanted to join us. And aside from that, as I say every time, I'm looking for anyone who wants to try one or two, the morning, the evenings, and then decide of the five, anytime they want to do one, they're more than welcome to join us. I do personally think that there is a better chance of more people seeing you on in the 7 p.m. than there are on the 10 a.m. slot, because on the 10 a.m. slot, either people are home dealing with homeschool children or they're home just doing whatever they got to do around their house, or they're working and they're not able to watch an hour and a half broadcast if it goes that long, or even any of it, because they're working at 10 o'clock in the morning, or maybe sometimes they're sleeping because they work third shift, so they can't be here with us. So it's easier for them to watch the 7 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. And we were going to add TikTok, but it just didn't work out the way it was supposed to be. It's a little more complicated than I thought it would be. Other people tell me it's easy. I've just made a decision that I'm not going to do it. I'm going to look around for others. X has always been a possibility. Rumble has always been a possibility. But I don't want to get into that. A whole lot of other places have been a possibility, but I would have to get up on time every morning and set up the broadcast, then go take the link from YouTube and post it everywhere that I would like to post it, and then come live, so that when we went live from Facebook and YouTube, we would be live everywhere we shared the YouTube link. If you watch the broadcast and you like them, give them a thumbs up and share. If you didn't like the broadcast, give them a thumbs down and share. And then tell me why you didn't like about the broadcast, because I tried to make this a learning situation where we do things to attract people to come and watch, not just sit here and make sure I can hold my coffee cup in my hand and not knock it down on my brand new laptop. If anyone is a computer tech in the Jacksonville, northern part of Florida, and has some experience with either cracking it open and looking at both USB ports to make sure they are nice and tight, I would appreciate it if it's local for me to get to you, or easy for you and I to meet somewhere if I have to do that, but or get me over to you when you do it. Preferably someone who has a shop or is associated with a shop, so it's not just somebody cracking open and me getting home and the whole thing not ever working again. But I have a habit of at the end of the broadcast reaching on the right side and yanking the mic cord out, or reaching over on the left side and yanking the microphone out. And the USB ports are kind of loose, and I think that's why the mic drops all the time. If I don't touch my mic and I just leave it alone and let it do its job, find a good spot for it and just leave it there, then I don't have to worry about it losing and getting no audio. I'm also one of those people, unfortunately, a mic is muted. I got to figure out which one it is. If they say to me, my mic is not working, then I have to stop what I'm doing and fix it right there, because I just can't let it go on. It drives me too crazy. So that. Anyway, Billy Harding from Leominster, Massachusetts, used to be Waltham, Massachusetts. Used to be a fellow cab driver at Central Square Taxi in Waltham, Massachusetts. Not sure what Billy is doing these days. He did have a private car service going for a while. I have to confirm with him that he does. If he does, I'll throw some quick paragraphs together and keep it on the desk. And when I see Billy, we'll plug it in so that people know. Billy's a great guy. He really is. He is the son of Jack Harding, who is even a greater guy. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, Billy, but Jack Harding was the guy who taught people how to be the guy. He had been in the cab business for probably a bazillion years when people like me came in, and it was always, don't get blinded by the money that you can make so much as making sure you're keeping people happy, that you're doing things that just make people happy. And you could think that you were doing something to keep one of the, for lack of putting it better, little old ladies happy. You hear Jack Harding on the cab radio saying, "Hey, Dave, come over here. This is where I am." And I'd be driving over there going, I must have done something wrong. But I got to go hear it from Jack. Because that's what you do. And he never yelled at you, but he told you. And when you left, you felt like you learned something. And that's how it was. We called him Hook because he worked at, I can't remember which one of the garages, but he drove a tow truck for years and they called him Hook. So we called him Hook. I wish a lot of these people were still around, just because it would be so much fun to have them on a broadcast. It might bore the hell out of a lot of people, but it would be a lot of fun to just get some of those people back together again. See, Billy and Jack Harding, and I won't name names. I won't name names, because the weird thing about Central Square was there were people who hated people, but when we were together, you had to act like you liked everybody, because that's just how you had to be. Some of them, you just had to act like you didn't like them, because that's just the way it had to be. That's right. It worked at White's Garage. White's Garage over on Felton Street. And I don't even know if it's even there anymore. I do hold what happened with Moody Street against Mayor, I can't remember his name, but Billy may remember, but he was Mayor Stanley, Tom Stanley. And he promised people that he was going to actually make Moody Street, for lack of putting it better, I can't think of the word I want, a long tunnel with more restaurants and more shops, kind of like an outdoor-indoor mall. and it never really happened. So there was always a lot of empty shops on Moody Street, and a lot of good restaurants didn't make it there, and I don't even know if they're there. I haven't been up there in a few years, but I know if you go up north, if you take Main Street and go up north and stay on Main Street, I think you come to the old Polaroid plant up there, and there is a mall, or there was a mall there, pretty much an outdoor mall. You walk from store to store. Oh, Billy says it's gone. Oh, that's sad. There were a lot of good restaurants up there. I don't remember the name of them all, but there was a lot of good restaurants up there. I am so behind in my keeping in touch with friends, cab drivers, cab owners, because you used to keep in touch with a guy named Wayne Gorman. Yeah, in West Waltham, you're right. There's a guy named Wayne Gorman, and he drove for a little bit. He was a dispatcher for some of the owners that had more than one cab. And I Facebook Messenger, and I would ask him all the time, what's going on with this one? And he'd go, died. What's going on with that one? Died. What's going on with this one? Died. You know, what's going on with that one? Oh, she died. What's going on with that one? She died. What's going on with that one? Well, she's still alive, but she's probably going to die. You know, and just I really enjoyed my time up there. I drove for a lot, and I drove for a lot of not great people. But anyway, we're coming up on an hour, and I think we're going to wrap this one up. But maybe one of these days we'll do that. We'll just see if we can find a whole bunch of people from Waltham that have a camera and a microphone and are willing to come on and talk about life up there, and maybe it'll spark other people. Maybe other people want to come on and use it, and I'll moderate the same kind of thing for them. Like I said, the biggest problem is unless people on Facebook are free at 10 o'clock in the morning, or today it was 10:45 because I overslept. It's hard to watch, and lately on the 7 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays, people don't always want to hear all about politics, which is fine with me. They want to hear about other people's lives. Everything doesn't have to be about the politics that is going on. You still need to keep your eye focused and understand what is going on, because if you don't, you'll get even messed up more than you're already messed up. But so maybe we'll do that. But like I said, also, if anybody is watching and anybody has thought about maybe wanting to do this, or maybe wanting to come on and be a co-host and see if they like it, and then like I said, I'm obsessed with it, so I do 9 of them a week. I do the 4 American Rebellions, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 7 p.m. And then I do Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. And then, like I said, the 3 10 a.m.s during the week, just because I'm obsessed, and it's about as close as I can get to radio. I apologize for the dogs barking in the background, but that's probably because it's time for me to move on. Delilah's starting to move up. She's going to go up and she's going to eat breakfast. Finally, I put it down about an hour ago for her. And anyway, on that note, Delilah's going to start barking back to the others. And it's been an hour. So thank you for everyone who came and watched Billy Hardy. Great to see you. Danny Campbell, always a pleasure. Paul Rudolph, always a pleasure. If you're a conservative patriot on Facebook like I am, and you see Paul Rudolph is an admin in that group that you're in, Paul's a great guy. If you see him in other groups that you're in, you know that you're in good company and in good hands if Paul Rudolph is there. Robin Brunson, always a pleasure to have you on. Dr. Craig Peterson, not just Craig Peterson, Dr. Craig Peterson. I have never confirmed if he is still a child psychologist or was a child psychologist, and I did promise him at one time I wanted to get him and his mother, Dr. Marilyn Peterson, who is also a child psychologist, on to talk about a whole lot of issues with 63-year-old children like me. Always a pleasure to have you watch, Craig. And William, no, Danny Campbell was here. William Grant was not here. But anyway, tonight, 7 p.m. on the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook. The American Rebellion goes live on the internet. Jerry Michaels, Nikki Young, sometimes Rob, Robert Lawless, the Minnesota Madman, joins us sometimes. That's what I was trying to say. And Jen Woodruff joins us a lot. And I try to make all four of them. And so it's more politics than whatever comes out of our mouths. It's not always politics. And sometimes the ones that aren't always all politics are a little better, a little more fun, if you ask me. So like I said, the American Rebellion on the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook, 7 p.m. Eastern. Also over on X. I can't remember the whole thing, but if you go into X and you search AMRAB, because there's a bunch of numbers at the end, which I can't remember. If you search AMRAB, it will take you right to the page, and you can watch the show on X at the same time. So live well, live prosperous, go out and have a fantastic weekend. And we will see you hopefully tonight over there on the American Rebellion at 7 p.m. And Monday morning, we will see you at 10 a.m. for Monday morning caffeine. My mouth is not working, and I really want to finish my cup of coffee. And I got to move my microphone because, as everybody knows, I got to have something in my hand for me moving my hand, which I think is part of the Parkinson's. And I just don't want to touch my microphone because I'm sure if I do, I'm going to. So anyway, completed the task that I came here for. Enjoy Facebook, enjoy YouTube, enjoy any place else you go today on the internet. If you see something good, bring it back to Facebook and throw it in the groups. If you see something good, join one of the broadcasts and tell people about it. If you see something bad, come join one of the broadcasts and tell people bad about it. Anyway, thank you for watching Red Friday Morning Caffeine here on a what's the word I want? You've been watching Boogie with a Bull, Red Friday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. What that means, I can't tell you, but it makes the lawyers happy. And you'll see us here the next time. Thank you. Have a great day. The dogs are really